Hello, everybody. Welcome back to That Proud Black Woman Show. And thank you for joining in again on another Saturday. How are you doing? And you know how we do on this show. If you're a first timer, what we do is you rep yourself in the comment section. Where are you watching us from? Are you in Canada? If you're in Canada, leave the city. Where are you watching me from? Is it in Toronto? Is it Calgary? Wherever it is, leave it in the comment section. That's how we mark attendance on this show. And for those of you that are OG already, that have been with me from the very first, from the beginning since last year, welcome back. I appreciate your support. Thank you so much for joining. So today I have a fantastic guest with me, but she's running a little bit late. I believe it's due to technical difficulties. She'll be joining us shortly. So today is episode 18, and we have 2 more episodes to the end of the season. Wow, it's so surreal. It's so surreal because, in April, I'm going to be taking a break again, and I'm going to be having fun. For those of you that don't know, I'll be traveling as well to Mexico. So a friend is having a 40th birthday, and it's going to be in Mexico. So maybe, I'm not promising, I might be bringing you a little bit of vlog from there. But anyway, how has your week been? Has it been fantastic like it has been for me? Because this week has been okay, don't let me lie, it has been a little challenging, but at the same time it's been fun, and I've been able to achieve a lot as well. It's been productive, so that's fantastic. That's one thumbs up for me, right? So anyway, last month we were celebrating Black History Month, and this month is Women History Month. And I've been bringing fantastic women that despite all odds have been doing so well in their different areas, and that they've thrived despite all odds. Last week I had a panel of 3, that's the first on this show that I'm having a panel of 3 guests, and it was very mind-blowing. Like, all the things we got to talk about was very mind-blowing. But anyway, today I'm bringing yet another achiever that has achieved so much, like so very much. And I know you are interested in knowing who it is, but you know how I do. I have to leave a little bit of suspense. So you know what? We'll see you after the commercial break. Welcome back, everybody. And yes, I have my guest here now. And I would, in case you guys don't know, I know a lot of people will be thinking, why do you bring so many women on your show? Why do you bring especially lawyers on your show? Well, if that's my caucus, okay? The people that I know, most of them are lawyers or women. So it's not my fault that most of the people coming on my show are women. But if you have ideas of, men that you want me to bring, please go in my DM and DM me. I will make sure to reach out to them. So who do I have here today? I'm going to let her introduce herself a little bit, and then we can go ahead with the show. But remember, if you want to know more about my guests, you always have to go to the description. I always have their bio in there. You can read more about them, and you can know, the caliber of people that I'm bringing to the show. How are you doing today, Shali?
I'm good. Good morning.
Good. I can see it's written all over your face. Your face is bright like the sun. I'm like, So how was your week though?
Oh, it was good. It was good, really.
Because I was just explaining to people about how my week was interesting. It was challenging, but at the same time, I got a lot of things done. And thank God it's the weekend as well. So for you, I know you have so many things, which we are going to be talking about today. You have so many aspects of you, and you have so many businesses going on. How was it throughout the week for you?
Well, the week was good, honestly. My husband traveled, so it was just me and the girls. So yeah, and that was interesting because we kind of do everything together, and then it was just me. So I'm having to wake up super early, drop them off, get to work, and all that. But yeah, it was really good. It was a little bit lonely and boring at some point, but because
but you made it through. You made it through.
Most important, I made it.
All right, so I just wanted to introduce yourself a little bit, let people know who you are, what you do, and what you're about. Let us just have a little feel of you.
Oh, nice. So my name is Omoshalewa Onoyemi. You can call me Shali. I live in Calgary, Alberta, moved to Canada in 2018. I'm a lawyer by profession. I work in-house with a global recruiting firm. I am a serial entrepreneur. So I have a little bit of, my businesses here and there. I'm the founder of Naijapreneurcanada, a community of Nigerian-owned businesses here in Canada. I also run at the Yum Cuisine, my food blog page, where I like to share everything food related because I'm a foodie. Uh, and then I have Clothier Zone by Shali. That is my fashion business. It's an online store where I sell Afro-inspired clothing, accessories, shapewear, and stuff like that. I also run another blog. It's a mom blog. It's called Mom's Affair NG. I started that in 2016, a year after I had my daughter, because I kind of realized that, the motherhood lane, it could get lonely sometimes, especially for a new mom. There's so many things that you just don't know. And this thing called parenting, it doesn't come with a manual. So I wanted to find like a community of like-minded people, that we could share stuff together. And along the line, I began to also celebrate them, celebrate their struggles, celebrate their wins. And that was really how Mom's Affair started. So it's a blog about everything from, born, birth, and beyond. If I'm not, doing all of these things, I'm definitely spending time with my family and my very close circle of friends. Yeah, I love to cook. I already said that before. I love to travel, and that's really it about me.
When I saw the Yum Cuisine, because I've been following the Yum Cuisine, I think since 2020, and I thought you actually did the cooking yourself, like you cook for people to come and like commercial cooking and stuff. Because from the name, it sounded like, I didn't know it was just a blog. I thought you actually do cook and people come to pick it up or something, or cater for events and stuff like that.
No,
I was like, how do you manage?
Yeah,
That's fantastic.
Yeah, okay.
All right. So my first question would just be, when I was reading through your bio, I saw that you're tri-qualified. Like, I haven't seen that in a while. I haven't seen that in a while. A lot of people are dual qualified, as I am too. I am dual qualified. I'm here from Nigeria and also here in Ontario. But I see that you're tri-qualified, which means you have the Alberta, you have Ontario, and you also have Nigeria. So and when you were talking just now, you said you came in 2018. So was it when you came in 2018 that you were able to get these other two qualifications as well?
Yes, absolutely. Matter of fact, I got both in 2021. So I got here in 2018, like I stated, but I couldn't immediately, start my career back. I came in in March. I was about 8 months pregnant. So I had to first, take care of my baby for a bit and then started the NCAs in 2019. So I did my NCA exams between January and August 2019, finished that and went back to school because I have this bias for employment law, right? For HR. At some point back in Nigeria, I had like the dual role of legal manager and HR manager. And I also have an MBA where I majored in HR. So I always look for a way to combine both, a way where I can actually, apply both at any position I'm working at. And so coming to Canada, I'm like, okay, I'm not only going to get relicensed as a lawyer. I also want to know the applicable employment law framework, So I went back to school for 8 months, did the course, finished that, challenged the Ontario bar, passed that, did my transfer to Alberta, got called. So that's actually how the journey went. So
nice. So it looks like you like to study a lot, because you just mentioned MBA as well.
I do.
You just mentioned MBA, so you have an MBA, and then I think you said you went back for 8 months. Was it to study HR or employment law? HR. So you have HR, you have MBA, and you have 3 qualifications in law. That's fun. That's mind blowing. I don't know how you do it, but even for a lot of people to even achieve one of it, it's a challenge, and understandably so. It's not easy to study. It's not, especially talking about you have kids, you were pregnant when you came into the country, and you still were able to get that between 2018 and now. That is mind-blowing. And I believe that a lot of people watching as well will take inspiration from that. Like, wow, if she could do that, then I think I could do that myself, right? So that's really fantastic, and that's important. So now, combined with your love for all things fashion, all things foodie, all things mommy and baby, and things like that, how did you come up with the idea of Naijapreneurcanada in Canada?
Okay, so I'm very community oriented. Like I said, with Mom's Affair, I was looking for like-minded people, and then with the Yum Cuisine as well, I kind of wanted a community of food enthusiasts just like myself to come together. And so in 2020, during the lockdown, when the pandemic first struck, I did something called the Top 10 Nigerian Food Entrepreneurs in Calgary. And after that, the publicity was amazing. It was really good. It was a great platform to really showcase these Nigerian brands to people. A lot of people were like, are you kidding? We have that much Nigerian food entrepreneurs. I had no idea, and it was a success. I have to say that. And after that, I started to do some kind of influencing and brand promotions, mostly for people in the food business, because the Yum Cuisine is a food page, right? And then people started to say things like, oh, Charlie, it's not fair. You're only concentrating on the food people. What about us? And I sat and I thought about it long and hard. And I'm like, actually, we need a platform that would showcase Nigerian entrepreneurs across all industries, regardless of whether you cook food or you don't cook food, right?
Exactly.
And so I started doing something called 3 Brands, 3 Industries on Nigeriapreneur. I'm sorry, on Yum Cuisine. So every week on Wednesdays, between 12 and 1, I'll bring 3 Nigerian business owners on Instagram Live to talk about their brand. And so we did that for about maybe 5-6 months. And then I just woke up one day, I looked at my feed and I didn't like the way it looked, like we had the food and then we had these people. And then, it was just, it didn't
all
look
over
like
the place, right?
That's just it. The goal has always been the same, promote Nigerian businesses. But the page, and what it stands for, and then what it was doing, it just looked like it was all over the place, to be honest. And so I created the page Naijapreneurcanada. And I didn't even announce it to anybody. I just left it there. And I started to put things on it, like, okay, we're having 3 brands, 3 industries. I'll post a copy of the flyer there, just maybe some kind of backup, I guess. Or maybe I also wasn't ready to own up to another page, like, but I didn't want it to look like, now only she waka come, But then one day I was just like, it doesn't matter, Shalewa, this is your dream. This is what you want to do. You don't think about what people will say. You don't do things for what people will say. And then I went public with it. Like, guys, this is my new page. This is a platform where we're going to be promoting all these brands now. And the love was amazing. I'm like, what? I didn't think people would embrace it that much. I even had people tell me, oh, why Naijapreneurcanada? It's, too limiting. It's just for Nigerians. And I'm like, yeah, that's my goal. That's what I want. I want to promote Nigerian businesses in Canada, because we don't have such platforms, right? As at then, anyway, after I started, a couple of people also started. But back then, we didn't have like any brand that was just dedicated to Nigerians. And the truth is, with each passing day, there are more and more Nigerians coming in. There are more people, setting up their businesses, and then they don't have this visibility, right? Yes. And that's just it. That's what Naijapreneurcanada does. Provide visibility for Nigerian businesses across Canada, regardless of what province you are. And it's been a lovely ride. The support has been.
I can say that because I've also had to, go on the page. I've seen how you promote people, and it's fantastic what you do, because the truth is, for a lot of people, especially before the pandemic, a lot of people found it difficult to, come online with your brand or put their face to their brand and things like that. And what you do is like try to bridge that gap. Like, don't worry, we'll handle it for you. Okay, we'll handle it for you. And then because it's a platform that a lot of Nigerians, a lot of Black people, a lot of other people come to watch, it will give your brand more visibility, and you'll be able to get, reach more audience that you ordinarily would have been if you were doing it by yourself, right? So that's fantastic. So just a quick shout out to people joining. Thank you so much, Wahid Mariam Oluwaseun, for joining. I appreciate you. Thank you so much, Canada Vendors. She's another fantastic entrepreneur that I've had on the show in the first season and the second season. Thank you so much for joining. We appreciate your presence here. Please, if you're joining, leave a comment in the comment section. Let us know you joined us so that I can at least shout you out a little bit, okay? Thank you so much, Evelyn Umudu, for joining. Thank you so much, sis. I appreciate you on the show. So now I'm going to, tiptoe back to when we're talking about qualified and all of that. That still amazes me. All right. So when you got the Ontario part of it, because since I've known you, I know you lived in Calgary. Did you live in Ontario as well? Or did you just say, well, I'll just take the exam? Because for those of us that are in Ontario, we absolutely hated the exams.
No.
So I can't imagine saying, you know what, I want to go. If I don't actually live in Ontario, I can't imagine actually saying that I want to do the exams in Ontario. So what was your story?
Just to buttress what you said, I recall telling a senior colleague of mine that I've decided to go to the Ontario bar. And oh no, sorry, I had an interview with him, right? And then I was like, oh, I did the Ontario bar, but then I'm waiting for my result. And the guy was like, Charlie, it's usually the other way around. People from Ontario run to Alberta to do articling instead, you know. And I'm like, well, at the end of the day, everybody's story is different. So this is what really happened. Like I said, I went back to school, right? I finished my NCS 2019, got my certificate in November. Normally, I was supposed to start articling about that period, right? And so I started to look, and I wasn't finding anything at the time. This was November 2019. This was actually when the first strain of, the whole COVID thing started, but nobody knew where it was going at that point. So I kind of focused on school, like, okay, we'll figure it out. And then by January, I started working at a bank. So I was working part-time. I go to work 3 days a week. I go to school 2 days a week. So I cramped all of my 5 courses into 2 days. So when I go on Tuesdays and Thursdays, I'm there from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Like, it was crazy. I wouldn't even lie, but it was doable. So I did it. And so I kind of focused on the work and the school while still looking for articling. And I started to get promises like, okay, don't worry. Sometime in April, you can start. Sometime in June, I had like 3 places confirmed, like, okay, you can start. The latest one was like in June. And I'm like, okay, that kind of sits better with me because by then I'll be done with school, right? And then the pandemic like struck full force, and then they locked down everywhere. And then I started to hear things like, Charlie, looks like we're going to have to postpone this for now. We don't really know where this is going. My staffs are working from home. I can't really bring anybody new on board. Like, it was just one story to the other from every one of them, and it was quite discouraging. But I was like, okay, let's keep saying June is still far off. But then I finished school in June. And by July, I still couldn't find articling because all hope was kind of lost. Everyone that promised me nothing. And then all the new places, they weren't really ready to bring in anybody either, because the model then was like people were working from home. So, we law firms, right? We kind of want you on site, right?
Exactly.
And that was another challenge again. I think there was one place I probably could have articled, but then kids were home, right? And I can't leave my kids at home because the daycare is shut down. And then I go to work, like, who's going to take care of my children? Like, it just wasn't going to work. My husband was working full-time from home as well. So I guess I'll just say life happened. And life happened. And then the last person that I really had my hope on then told me in June that, I'm sorry, I think we're going to have to postpone to November. And that was the point where I was like, okay, what happens if we postpone? And then in November, this person tells me, oh, sorry, Charlie, we're going to have to postpone till next year. Is this how I'll just keep, postponing this thing? Like, I was born a lawyer. That's just the truth. Like, this is my passion.
I love that. I was born a lawyer.
Like, I'm not even kidding. From the moment I knew my right from my left, when you say, what do you want to be, lawyer? They started calling me.
I think we have that one in common.
Baby lawyer. Like, everybody called me baby lawyer growing up. I would always want to stand up for what is not my business and the one that is my business. Like, it was crazy. And so at that point, I had to do some research. And then I realized that with my 10 years post-call experience, and even if I had lesser than that, I think Ontario only needed 10 months, I could get an exemption from articling in Ontario. So I asked questions, and people were like, oh, but you have to write the bar exams. Oh, they're like 200
almighty exam.
Is this and that, like all those things just to kind of scare you. But guess what? Like, you already noted, I do love book. Like, I'm from Ondo State. Back in the days before the splits between Ondo and Ekiti, they will tell you Ondo people are mostly professors. Like, they like book, right? So I wasn't scared. I'm like, nah, no big deal. We're gonna do this.
Now we've got this.
And at that point, I was working full time now at the bank because I already, got out of school. Yeah. And then the next thing was people saying, well, not a lot of people, I only actually told a few people anyway. But then they were all like, oh, you know what? Do it one at a time. Maybe do one now in November, do the other one next year in March. I'm like, you guys don't understand. Like, if I knew I was going to go the bar route, I'd have done this 2019 November, right? It's not like I'm racing against time or anything. But this is one goal that I need to just tick off my list. Like, I felt like it was dragging unnecessarily, right? I don't mind becoming a lawyer right now, and I go and decide to do whatever I want to do.
Yeah, but you have your license at least.
Thank you. And so that was it. So I registered, in fact, last minute. Registration was going to close that August. That was when I registered. My materials, because of the lockdown and the whole thing, my materials didn't arrive till September, about September 15th or 16th. My first exam was November 5th. I was working full time. I have kids. And then I was stubborn. I registered for both. So I was going to have an exam on the 5th of November and on the 21st of November. And God made it happen. We wrote both exams, got the results in December, and I passed. And guess what? Because of the time frame, between when I registered and the exam, I didn't even apply for exemption yet. I'm like, you know what? We'll do that afterwards. Let me just focus on this. Like, I don't even have that energy. I can't even put myself in that position where I'm thinking, oh, would they approve? Would they not approve? I'm like, yeah, let's get it off. And so I did the exams. And then when I was applying for exemption, I put it there, like, I already challenged both exams and I passed. Like, at least that makes you understand that not only is she coming with, a past experience, she's also gone ahead to do these exams and she kind of knows the laws. And I talked about my HR course I did and how that exposed me to the legislative framework of employment law, which is what I really want to like. In fact, you should see my application. It was beautiful.
From everything you said, I kind of see a lot of things that we had in common. First of all, I'm from Ondo State, so Ondo States are very beautiful. They have very beautiful children. Okay, and the second thing is that the way you actually went through, because I also had to get an exemption for me as well. I started, and as you said, you're stubborn. Me too. I was stubborn. I was like, I'm going to do both exam. I don't even care how it's gonna go. And I was also working full time. So I remember I never had breaks. Because during my break, I would bring my big book because I also registered. I didn't know if you wanted to do the exam, you had to have registered a year before, right? So when my NCA exam came out, I was like, oh yeah, let me go on. So I had to now pay for, I think it's called late payment or something, $160 for late payment or something, late application. I was like, I don't mind. I would get it done. So I got the 2 exams and people were actually saying, you know what, this is 7 hours each, right? You have to think about it. I said, you know what, if I think, I'm never going to do. Let me do. One thing I always think is if I put the 2 exams, if I do the first one and I cannot continue with the second one, then I can get my refund. I think they will only hold back $50 or something. But I did the first exam actually in March, hoping that I would be able to article because I also wanted to know the ins and outs of how the Canadian market is and the law and all of that. But anyway, after doing the March exam, I was supposed to do the following exam 2 weeks after, then COVID struck. And up until the last day, they kept telling us, don't worry, it's going to go ahead. Don't worry. It's gonna go ahead. And this was so annoying that a day before they canceled, I just put all my books away and I went to sleep. Because before then, I had taken a week or 2 weeks break from work, thinking once I finish my exam, I want to sleep for 2 weeks straight. Like, no argument. So I still took the break. I was like, okay, you know what? I'm done with this stuff. I'm so mad at this point. So I took the break. And then at that time, that's when people started throwing in the, what's it called? I forgot what's called. Petition. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Petition that we should go move it online, that the exam should be moved on. I signed every single petition I could find. Like, I was just signing. Let's get this thing done. I'm tired of waiting, right? So as at June, we were the first set that did the exam. And so we were like the lab rats. Yeah. So we still did the 7 hours. It was so annoying. And then I was freaking out about my internet. What if my internet doesn't work? What if it stops in the middle of the road and whatever. But finally, I got it done. I was happy. But then just as you said, all the places that I was looking to go into to do my articling, all of them kept saying the same thing. We're working from home. Even my company that I was working for, I thought to move into their legal department. But then also all the people I was like, my managers was connecting me with, we're all working from home and we're not bringing anybody in. At that point, I was like, you know what? I'm not waiting because I've started this process, NCA, done this, all the stress. I need to get this done. I didn't have a choice because I don't know where that was going, like the pandemic. Who knew it would still be around by now?
Imagine if we were waiting.
So I had to get my exemption. I did. But then at that point, it dawned on me like, now I'm qualified. What am I going to do? Because that wasn't the plan. The plan was to actually get it done, go do articling for 1 year and all of that. But now the articling is gone and they responded to me in 1 week. Like I got the result back in 1 week that I've gotten the exemption. So now I was confused, like, okay, what I was going to do. And a lot of people started saying, oh, now that you have your certificate, when are you starting? When are you starting? It was the most annoying thing ever. Because now the tension was there, it was building. So yeah, that's why I said I understand where you're coming from. So it wasn't like you were living in Ontario, you saw the opportunity and you took it, and you're the better for it. Now you are try qualify. I like that. I will keep saying it, try qualify. Is there any dream in the future to get one more? Like what?
To be honest, I'm still kind of eyeing the New York bar. But maybe for much later, and if plans, if we have family plans, that may move us to the US. But it's something I would like to do, like maybe for the fun of it. Like
Why
right
not?
now, I don't want to read any book.
Why not be quadruple? Why not be quadruple? How would you pronounce it? Quad qualified.
I guess so.
That's fantastic. Now let's go back to family life a little bit. So with the family, you doing all of this since you've landed in 2018, I'm believing you haven't had the time, every single space of time you've had something filling it up, your exams, your schooling, your work, and you have all of these other platforms. How do you manage? How do you pull all of these different hats on? How do you manage?
Oh, okay. So this is like the multi-million-dollar question that everybody asks me.
I want to know.
Yeah. I'll digress for a second. So like when I was doing the bikes, when I was studying for my bikes, I was working full time. That was when I was doing 3 brands, 3 industries. Like, so people were like, when they saw that I became, they're like, wait, how, when, how? As in, how did
Where did you find the time?
But I'll be honest, I think I'm just one of those people that love activities in their life. Let me start from there. Because I recall there was this live session I did with Canada vendors in, I think, 2020 or 2020, yeah. And I told people, I was like, guys, see, I was that person that when I was in secondary school, I was a social prefect. I was the president of Literary and Debating Club, president of Drama Club, cultural dance leader, this one down. Like, that has just always been me for as far back as I can remember. I feel like when I'm not doing anything, that's even when I would feel like I have a problem. It's weird, but I'm wired the opposite of many people I know. That's just the truth. And I've tried, I'll be honest, I've tried to be like, you know what? I'm not going to do anything. I'm just going to chill. But then 3 minutes later, trust me, I'm 20 things. Like 20 things, literally. Like I'm just that way. But to be honest, though, I think I would say that I got it from my family, really. My mom growing up, she was an entrepreneur. My dad was working at the same time. He had like multiple business ventures. So I know he had a hotel, he had like so they were doing some construction and all that. So he had like this building material, whatever. He put someone there, and then he had like cars out for rental, and then he had like Okada that some people were using to do their work, and then they bring daily whatever back. Like, so he had his hands in so many pies as well. Same with my mom. Like, she was a fashion designer. At some point, she was running like 3 different branches of a store. She's into bridal, she's into regular clothing. Like, both of them combined, I guess I just used to look at them as a child, and I'm just like, when I grow up, I want to be this and more, because the dream is always to aspire to be more, right? And that's just it. And so every opportunity I had, when I was growing, passing through school, every single opportunity I had to do this, I take it. I'm never overburdened. I'm never like, oh, it's just too much, except I am not passionate about it. So that's the thing. You won't find me doing what I don't love. That's where there's a problem. But if I love it, if I like it, I will do it. I will find the time. And so that's
you have like a super human ability that a lot of people do not have, which is being able to succeed at everything you put your hands on. So for a lot of people, they can multitask, but it doesn't mean that they can have equal attention to every single one of them. So for example, I could be a lawyer, I could have other businesses I'm doing, but then maybe only the lawyer part will be out there, or maybe just the business will be out there because I cannot give equal attention. But for you, all your 4 platforms are doing great, and you are also still doing all other things on the side as well. So that's really good that you have that. And the fact that we are from Ondo State, for those of you that don't know what Ondo State is, it's a state in Nigeria. It's one of the 36 states in Nigeria. And from people, they said that we like to read a lot. So we have a lot of professors. I don't think there's a family that doesn't have a professor or a doctor or a lawyer. That's just how we are wired. So now for those of you that have been asking me that, how do I do it? So now you're getting that little tip. You're getting so that's actually rare to find. And for me too, I'm always saying, every day you just work Monday to Friday, work. I just need a break, like a month or 2 months. When I went on mat leave, I couldn't. Oh my God. I couldn't. That was when I said, you know what, I'm going to start the NCA process like right away. I have 1 year, and I registered for all 5 exams. And people were like, are you crazy? And I had you know what? I also registered for that one late, because I think I gave birth in August 27th, and the exam was in January. So as soon as I got out of the hospital, the first month, I said, you know what, baby, we're going to have to study together. So I registered, I think I registered in November. So I had 2 months to study. And I had the baby that was exclusively breastfed. So she was always on my chest while I'm studying all day. It was like, so the same plan I had, because when people said you couldn't do it, even I was trying to look for tutors, and I had seen this person in Calgary via Facebook. I attended the free training. And after, I said, can I talk to you? And I said, okay, I have this exam in the next 2 months. I just registered for all 5. And he was like, that's too ambitious. Why don't you do 3? And the truth is, I didn't want him as my tutor, because I was like, I'm telling you what I want, not you telling me what you think, right? So I told him, okay, thank you so much. And I didn't go with him, right? Because I was like, no, this one is not going to be the person that will take me to where I want to go. So in my mind, I still had some doubts too, because when, there's no way when people start to tell you those things, you'll be thinking, maybe. And with the baby, I also had another active toddler that is like everywhere apart from the baby. So anyway, the plan was, I looked into the refund policy. You can take the money, you can get a refund up to 24 hours for the exam. So what I did was, I said, it's just $50, right? That they were going to deduct from I don't remember, maybe it was 400 or something. Yeah. So I said, and it was every single day, Monday to Friday. And I had this baby that wouldn't take a bottle, wouldn't take anything else. So my husband would drive me all the way to Mississauga and stay outside with this baby for the entire Monday to Friday, for the entire course of the exam. And when I come out, the baby will be screaming her head off because she has not eaten, because she refused to take the bottle. So it was very stressful, but thank God, when the result came out, I was happier for it, right? So sometimes you have to just take that leap. If you feel that urge in you that go do it. Don't listen to other negative voices around you. The truth is, sometimes those negative voices are coming from a good place. Yeah, they're coming from a good place, but they're just projecting their own fears on you. So if you believe in yourself, if you believe in what you carry, at that point, I didn't have any mentor. I didn't know a lot of people. It was just me and my family. So right now, I believe that we've all, because of COVID, we've all, branched out online. Like I'm meeting you online for the first time in person, right? And it feels like I've known you like 65 million years ago, right? And that's it, because everybody got to, mingle and talk and attend virtual events, and it looks good. But as at then, there was none of that. It was you and your family. So I didn't have those mentors. I didn't even know as many lawyers as I do today that I've met on virtually. So at that point, I just decided in myself that if this is what you want, and you have that 1 year, do something with it. And I did. And today I'm a lawyer, right? I run my own practice. That's fantastic. And that's one thing that I'm always eager, to mentor other people, to help other people. Sometimes I'll be on the phone from people that have heard my story, and I'll talk to them for 2 hours, and people ask me, oh, who is that person? I'm like, you won't believe I don't know the person. The person just saw my name on Facebook, reach out to me, and there I am talking for 2 hours trying to explain the process. This is what you should do, blah, 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 blah. I don't know this person. I can't see them outside and recognize them, but I want everybody to win as well. Exactly. All right. So for you, are you looking to mentor other people? Other people are looking at you today and say, wow, you were able to achieve this within a little bit of time, and they want to reach out to you. Are you open to that kind of relationship as well?
Yes, I am. A matter of fact, I already do, right? Like, just like you said as well, a lot of people reach out to me last year, myself and two other lawyers, we did a video powered by African Extended, just talking about the licensing process. And the video has obviously gone, traveled far and wide because I've had people call me even from back home in Nigeria, right, on WhatsApp calls and all that, right? So yeah, I mentor quite a number of people, just like you as well. I want everyone to succeed. I do not hoard any information. You will be surprised to know how many people have now gone through this same Ontario route, even though they are in Calgary, you know. And another thing is, there was this mentality, right, that some people had, and they're like, oh, if you don't article, you will never find a job. And I'm like, darlings, whether or not you article, you're going to find a job. Guess what? Some people article and they are not even retained. And then they are back there trying to find a job, and it's taking them as much time as it's going to take you that didn't article to get a job. So the most important thing is, when you're putting your resume together, when you're applying for that job, let them understand that the experience you bring, the skills you have from back home are transferable. That is the most important part of it. So yes, back to your question, I'm open to mentoring people. And yeah, feel free to reach out to me if you have any questions about, the licensing process. I point a lot of people to Nigerian page, at least so they can get the basic information. And then if you want, like, okay, how exactly did you do your transfer? How did you, all those kind of things? I'm always happy to help. Yeah.
That's true, because as you had mentioned earlier about people thinking you will not get a job if you don't article. I was one of those people that thought that it might be way difficult for me because I just wanted that experience. Because even prior to doing my exams, I remember that when I was looking for jobs in, let's say, like as a legal assistant or something, just to be in the legal field so that I can gather that experience. A lot of people always, decline because they believe you don't have that Canadian experience. So I was so bent on getting the articling position so that, first of all, I have a Canadian experience, or the second part would be maybe they could just retain me and I have a job there, right?
Yeah.
So at the point, I waited and waited and waited. When it was not working and I didn't see it going anywhere, I was like, you know what? I'm getting that exemption. And for so many people, they don't know that is an alternative, that you could get an exemption. So they've been in this country for so long. And now they're, oh, wow, you could get an exemption. I didn't know that. So for some people, you could even use your NYSC experience, because that was the majority of what I used as well, because I left Nigeria so many years ago, right? So at that point, I was like, I'll focus on that, because there was a time I went back to Nigeria again for like 8 months, and I went back to the same employer and I worked for a little while. So I put all of that together, and I had about 2 years and some months of experience, and I put it in there, and I was surprised. Because before, a lot of people don't think about NYSC. Either you got paid 1,000 naira or whatever. The experience matters, right?
Yeah.
The experience really matters. So those were the things I put together. So a lot of people don't know that they have that experience. Oh, but I never really did much and all of that. It doesn't matter. Like, try. If you don't try, you don't know. What's the worst that could happen? They'll tell you, no, it's been declined. No, exactly. Or they will give you, there was another option where they will give you some months off. So for example, I had someone from India that they gave her 1 month. She said, told her to go to just 1 month of articling, right? So that's not bad. So it's really important that we have this information, and that's why a lot of platforms have come up during the pandemic, that they're equally as powerful. So you can gather those information from them as to what to do. And this does not apply to, I know we'll be talking about lawyer. This does not only apply to law. You have to open your inner mind to understand that whatever we're saying here is transferable to any field, because for every field, when you come into Canada, there's always a process. So find out those processes and find mentors. If you don't find mentor, try to build that inner strength of yours, right? If you have a supporting husband, a supporting wife, supporting kids, whoever is there for you, just hold on to that and use that to, build yourself. When we're talking about work, like skill transferability, this does not only affect lawyers, it affects people from all fields and wherever. So also you have to think, what did I do when I was back home? Whatever country you were coming from, and try to put pen to paper and try to translate. If you can't do it on your own, there's so many other people out there too that does this professionally. So all you have to do is tell them, I did this, I did that, and they would help you put together your resume that would actually portray, the skills that you have, and then you can take that to your job hunting or whatever, right? So that's very important. So
Yeah.
now we'll backtrack again a little bit to the other aspects of you. So now, are you not work because you said you like employment law, at the same time you like the human resources, and you went to school to study that. At your current job, are you using any of those skills in your current place of work now?
Yes, I'm using all of those skills. So I work with a global recruiting firm. Um, we're headquartered in the UK, and I'm the commercial and legal person for the entire Canada. It's a lot of work.
Uh,
I love it. I tease with my client like, oh, Charlie, I know you're busy. I'm like, don't worry, I signed up for that. That's fine. Yeah. So I am using it because, it's recruitment. So it's HR. And then what laws govern these things? You're talking employment law, you're talking human rights, you're talking occupational health and safety. So every single thing I went to school to study, I'm applying it. And I'm bringing things as well from the legal standpoint. What are the risks? Hope we're not exposed. How can we mitigate this? How can we cover ourselves? What are our liabilities? I mean, it's a fantastic role. In fact, when I look back, at some of the roles I applied to, um, I smile because I'm like, God is just great. We stress ourselves sometimes, and He's just looking at us and smiling because He has even bigger plans ahead for us. And then I want to touch on something. I know you didn't ask, but just for anybody watching this and currently trying to get a job, especially after you've gotten your license, it can be tough, honestly. The mindset I had, the way people had portrayed it, it was like once you become a lawyer, the $1 million job is waiting for you right there. You're gonna grab it. Like your license today, tomorrow, the law firms are hustling for you. It is a big fat lie,
I
right?
know.
Maybe for some people it does happen that way. Fantastic. And that's because we all carry different level of grace, and also because everybody's story is
It's
different.
different. Yeah.
I went through a waiting period, right? A waiting period that I had no idea was going to happen because I thought, guess what? I was working full time at the bank. I got called to the Ontario bar February 26th. And then I gave them 2 weeks notice and I quit my job because I'm like, I'm a lawyer now. The
I
job,
know. Try qualified. I know.
babe, I waited. It wasn't even funny, and then you're applying. And then the crazy thing was, I kept getting interviews. I kept getting to the very last stage, and I'm like, what is all this? I'm like, some roles I'm even applying for is like, entry level associate. I'm just coming to start with the people. I'm coming with 10 years of experience. Like, you cannot buy this in the market, but it was as if nobody cared. It wasn't fun. I have to be honest. Because I've also had to have this discussion with a couple of people, and I've come to realize it's something that bothers. It triggers suicidal thoughts in people. You would think it's not a big deal. It is a big deal. I
Huge
want
as
you to know that it is a waiting phase and it will pass. Right? That's the key. It will pass. You will get that job. So please, if you're watching this and you're at that point right now where you feel like, oh, but I was qualified 3 months ago, I got my license, why can't I get a job? Why is it that this? Why is it that that? Trust me, you are not alone. A lot have walked that same path. And at the end of the day, they get a job. You will get a job. You will be fine. Honestly, I just wanted to put that out there because it's
that was
something.
going to be one of my last questions, that what's your final word and all of that. But so I guess you better start coming up with another final word.
I
But
will.
truly, when you talk about that waiting phase, I went through that last year,
Yeah.
and truly it is horrible when you're waiting.
Oh,
Because I
yeah.
know I will call some other people, some other friends that I also met virtually that are also lawyers, and I'll be like, "What? How are you doing? And what are you doing? How were you able to get clients and this? And how were you able to get a job?" And they'll be like, it's always like that for the first 6 months. Always like, it felt like whatever they were telling me was just nonsense. Like, I was like, I couldn't see the vision at that point. Like I said, sometimes they'll be like, "Oh, the first 2 months is always like that. Don't worry. When the job comes, you will be so tired." I'm like, I want to be tired. Just let me I want to be tired. Like I was, but now, guess what? I am always tired because there's too many to do. Like sometimes I don't go to bed until 3 a.m. and I have to wake up because there's so much work now. And I'm like, Jesus Christ, you have to be patient sometimes and be careful of what you wish for, because it's going to come bite you. Because then I was like, Lord Jesus, just let me be busy. I just want to be busy. I want to have no time. But now that I have no time, I just need a week to sleep. Absolutely nothing. So it's true. There's that waiting period. You just have to stick with the process. Don't give up. Continue, whatever routes that you plan. So the most important is have a plan. What do you want to do? Do you want to work for somebody? Do you want to work for yourself? Do you want to work in-house? Make that plan and continue to focus to that one. So don't be jack of all trades. You're just whatever comes in, right? Focus on something.
That's hard.
Because it's
because when you're waiting, trust me, when you're waiting.
Yeah, I know. Because I was like,
to
people ask me
everything.
What exactly do you want to do? Because I was not, because the thing is, I have a passion for inclusion and diversity. So I was also applying for a lot of inclusion and diversity. And as you said, I will get to the highest, like the final stage. And the annoying part is some people will just be quiet. I did the first interview, did written, did the third interview with the all the managers and the directors.
Yes.
And it's only fair that you respond back that, oh, sorry, we're moving on with somebody else. They will just go. And 1 month, 2 months, I will start emailing what's going on, because at that point I'm feeling so confident that
I've worked.
It is done. Just there was one particular one that pained me the most. It's been since 2019, I'd been, all the exams. I had to go do in-person exam. It was an inclusion and diversity role, but they need somebody with legal experience, like with a lawyer. So it kind of merged my two things together. I am a lawyer and I have a passion for that. So, and I also did international human rights law in my master's degree. So it just looked good. And my dear sister, I kept waiting. At some point, I feel like I kept emailing this HR lady to the extent that she just stopped responding. Until date, I haven't heard anything. And before then, in January 2022, I was already thinking about, how I was going to buy a different car, and, so that, because I need a car for myself, dedicated to myself, that I don't have to worry about taking the kids to anywhere and blah, blah, blah. I was just planning. This time, they told me they were going to get back to me in a week. My dear sister, it didn't shock me. It shocked me. Like till date, nothing. I was so heartbroken, because with all other ones that I've done, I never got to that height of, when you're feeling like I'm already part of the team, and they just did that. I was so sad. But anyway, thank God I didn't get
you are now, exactly.
Thank God I didn't get that job. That's how it is. So you have to know. Because a lot of people ask me, what do you want to do, so that we can, put that in my plan. You know what? I don't know. At this point, I just need a job. I just need anything. I need a job in maybe the legal field, or inclusion and diversity, or human rights. Those are the three passions of mine that I know if I start working there, I would like my job, because that's what I like to do. So you have to also think about that, because I've had jobs in the past that I was just there for the money. I was just there because I needed to survive. So I wanted something transitioning into something that my mental health is utmost. Number two, money is coming into my pocket. I can afford what I want. And number three, I want somewhere that I'll be able to stay there for a little while, right? So, because if you enjoy what you do, if you like the environment, you will be able to stay there for a while.
Honestly.
So that was that were my three things. Then where I also wanted respect. All this Black Lives Matter, whatever. I don't want to work in a place where I feel black. I want to work in a place where I'm there, everybody's nice, we're all like, nobody's looking at, I get my all that is due to me without having to fight for it and explain myself and work extra hard. So that was like one of the basic things for me, because places that I've worked before, you had to explain yourself a lot. And I didn't want that. So you have to think about, you have to have that vision. What do you want? What are your values? Can that place you're going provide you the value? If the only value you have is money, well, you can do anything. But if you're thinking about respect, if you're thinking about longevity, if you're thinking about, career advancement, you have to think about all of that as well, and look for, if possible, connect with people on LinkedIn that already work with that place and find out what is the culture like in there. That's really important. So anyway, I know we spent a few bit. This was so fun.
It is.
So now, I'm putting you on the hot seat. Since you have already said the one I was going to ask, you're going to come up with another final advice. for everybody watching us here today and, drawing inspiration from your own journey, what would be, your advice to people watching us today?
Okay. First, I'd say believe in yourself, right? Especially if you're new in Canada. Believe in yourself, believe in your dreams. They're called dreams for a reason, and they can definitely come to life, right? Things would happen that would make you doubt yourself. Wave those thoughts aside. It's normal. It'll come and you just be like, am I enough? Can I do this? But you can. That's just the absolute truth. Find like-minded people to connect with, because no man is an island. You may feel like I don't need anybody, but guess what? You do need people. You do. You may not need like a lot of people. That's another thing. And they don't really necessarily have to become your friends, but you need, that community. You need to just, how do I put this? For example, if you're in the business space, find platforms, right, that promote community, platforms that promote businesses. Key into it. It's not going to only help you, it's going to help your brand. Likewise, if you're trying to take like a professional exam and all that, find like-minded people, connect with them. For my bar exams, for example, I had a friend, she was also studying for the bar. We read together for the 2 months. She understood I was working, so I was gone 9 to 5 every day, and then I have to take care of my kids and all that. Guess what? She was in Ontario. She would wait for me, like considering the time difference, and then we start to study at about 9 p.m. That's already 11 p.m. at time. I don't know if you understand. Then we'll do this till like maybe 2 or 3 a.m. Half the time we're gisting, to be honest. But well, we claimed we were studying. But what I'm trying to say is, if I didn't have that support system, chances are, yes, I like book, I like to study. But sometimes if you don't have somebody else nudging you, some of your
Exactly.
goals will slip out of your fingers, because there would have been nights where I would have been like, I've gone to work this morning, please, I'm tired, let me just sleep, Joe. And then you sleep, and then one day it's gone, and then what? It's 52 days to the exams, 2 exams, and you've not read anything. So yeah, try to have a support system somehow. That's just the truth. Find your tribe. Very, very important. Connect with people, and you will do just fine, honestly. Another thing I do sometimes is I write down, what I want to accomplish every year. I remember talking to a friend early this year, and I said I was, writing out what I want to accomplish this year. She's like, "Oh, you do New Year resolution?" I'm like, "Well, I don't know if I'll call it that, but yeah, every year I have goals I want to achieve. I don't just dabble into the year and feel like, well, everything's gonna be fine. Let's just do it." So yeah, write down your goals. If you hate the word resolution, they're goals.
I call it tradition, and I do exactly what you said. So I think about 3 or 4 sessions ago, I had also said something like that about I don't do New Year resolution. For New Year resolution, it's always something stupid anyway. Oh, this year I would not smoke. I would not do this. I would like, and then I will not eat sugar, and then you eat it. This is like, what do I want for myself? Exactly. What do I want for my life? And usually, what I do, because I'm a Christian, when we go to church, like the crossover night, I already have them written. And once it's like 10 minutes, I start to pray on them, and I keep them. So I start working towards them. So it's something that is a reminder for me. And I start working towards them. And the truth is, sometimes you can't achieve everything on that, but you put in your best. And when I get to December, I look back at it. What have I achieved? I mark it out. The one I haven't achieved, I look at it. Why wasn't I able to achieve it? What can I do next year to be able to achieve this and more? And I work towards that. So I don't call it resolution. I call it a tradition. So it's my New Year tradition. Every New Year, I have my list. Some people will call it visual board. Mine is just a paper. I just hear any paper around. Anything. I write it on it, and I just pray on it. And this is what I want. God help me. Right. Yeah. And I just work towards it. And truth be told, a lot of times I achieve about 80% of it, which is not bad. If we're in school and we're supposed to grade that, that's a distinction. That's A1. A plus. So it's true. So I truly, and just to add to what you have said, all of that, find your tribe, find your people. Remember, when you achieve, to pay it forward. That's so important.
That's so important.
Pay it forward. also bring other people. That's the only way that we can continue to achieve greatness. That's the only way we can build wealth. That's the way that we Black people, we people of color, can actually make a community that is thriving within anywhere we find ourselves. We have to come out of that mindset of competing with ourselves. Let's just come out of that. And I'm so proud of every young woman, every, like yourself, Canada vendors, a lot of people in our community, what we've been doing in the past 3 years. It's been phenomenal. And a lot of people can testify to that they've achieved a lot as well that they never thought that they could achieve before all of these platforms started. And then for people also seeing us, they're also getting that encouragement to also go create their own platform. These are fantastic things that we need to continue to see in our community and beyond. So thank you so much. I really appreciate your time. It's been a fun one. And for people, I was just saying that for this season, I have 2 more episodes. So once I get to episode 20, this season will be done. I'll be taking a break, and I'm traveling in April to Mexico. So I don't know. I might be doing some vlog. I don't know. We'll see. Yeah. But I'm taking a break again, just like I did last year. And then I'm going to come back big and better and with a lot more guests to, continue to, tickle our mindset, challenge our mindset that, you know what, you could be better. You could do better. You have so much more in you. So we have 2 more episodes, as I said. Episode 20 is going to be the last one on April 2nd or April 3rd. So please come back next week and the next. And, if you have ideas of people for the next season that you want me to interview, just sneak into my DM and let me know. So thank you so much. I appreciate you. I'm going to give you back the rest of your Saturday. I know I've stolen almost an hour. Yeah. So I'm going to give you back the rest of your Saturday, and everybody have a lovely day.